I had the opportunity to go out to lunch with Matthew, and he was so excited to be there, had so much to talk about, and was really just in a happy, positive mood. I did not say anything about his death for the subsequent days following the news, just because I figured I don't want to say that I was the last person to be seen with him, especially in such a treacherous time as this. But once that photo came out, I realized, okay, I gotta speak up and identify myself to get ahead of the narrative and make sure nobody speculates negatively about the day before his death. Matthew was exactly how you would expect him to be. I think that's why so many people all over the world considered him a friend and are mourning his death, even not having the chance to have met him personally. He was super generous, kind, funny, cracking jokes, just very much a goober, you know? I feel like he is reminiscent of the characters that he's played on TV and in the movies, and he was exactly how people would expect him to be. So I'm so privileged to have known that version of him, because I know there are other stories about previous iterations of him and the things that he struggled with, but in those final moments, that's exactly the man that I spoke to. I had not known him for very long, to be honest. We were introduced through a mutual friend. I am also in the entertainment industry, and I'm always looking to meet interesting people to connect with them. And you know, I'm young in my career here in LA, so why not meet a cool guy like Matthew Perry? And it was really amazing. I feel like we really connected as friends and had so much to talk about. He was very much mentoring me, you know, in those final moments and saying, like, this is what you need to do next with your career, and this is what I think you could benefit from. And he was just so helpful, always looking out for other people, even those that he didn't know very long, like myself. I would say it was just a casual, friendly lunch that two friends might be having anyway. Like I said, reminiscing on it now and looking back on it now, I'm overthinking everything and thinking, well, what did I say? What did he say? Like, was there anything that stood out that I should have noticed? But in reality, no, it was just a regular conversation between two people talking about life, talking about his aspirations, his goals, his dreams. I shared with him some of the things that I have coming up in my life. Like, I really didn't think too much about it at all. It was just a positive, happy conversation about mundane, everyday things. And then all of a sudden it blew up, and now everyone's wanting to know, was he okay? Was anything weird about it? And there really wasn't anything. He seemed completely normal. I am echoing some of the words from other people that spoke to him in those recent days as well, because that's exactly correct. And I'm corroborating their story, that they spoke to him in the weeks leading up to his death. I spoke to him in the day leading up to his death. He was completely normal. He was completely fine. He had no signs of any kind of substance abuse or relapsing or any kind of sporadic crazy behavior. His speech was eloquent and nice. There were really no warning signs. One of the last things he said to me is actually kind of eerie to me now, and I have thought about it so much since then. I talked to him about my up and coming plans for the next week. And next week I'm actually getting my wisdom teeth taken out. And I remember just mentioning that in passing to him and saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and that, and then I'm having wisdom teeth surgery on Tuesday. And he stopped for a second and he goes, you're getting your wisdom teeth taken out? Are you getting anesthesia? Are you gonna take medication? And I go, well, I don't know, I haven't had the consultation yet. And he kind of paused and he said, you know, my wisdom teeth surgery that I had was one of the first instances that I was exposed to drugs. And that was one of the things that set off his lifelong pattern of drug abuse. And that was so hollowing for me to hear that, because I think I hadn't thought about it twice. I was just getting ready to do this normal appointment. But now I think, you know, because I have known him, because I'm now aware that that was one of the first things that he encountered that was a struggle with drugs, maybe I was meant to hear that from him. I'm not sure what would have happened if he hadn't passed away, but I'll tell you now that I've set up a support system and a network for me to be safe after all of that. And in a really, really crazy way, I feel like, I don't know, maybe he saved my life. Maybe that would have been me.
How did you hear about his tragic passing?
I was actually in the car going to play up some music for a drive, and I happened to swipe left on your phone where all of the news comes up in that column, and I saw Matthew Perry dead at 54. And I was in shock. I could not believe that that had just happened, especially because I had just seen him the day before. He seemed completely fine. He was so optimistic about his health and his well-being and his career and his goals, and then he's gone. And I can't tell you in that moment what went through my mind. I went through every possible emotion of, is this a hoax? To, did I notice something that I didn't realize? To, what if, I guess, this was his destiny? I don't know, right? It's like you never know what's the reason for something like this happening. He had a lot of things planned. I think given that he released his memoir this last year, he wanted to do more advocacy with the substance abuse and alcohol abuse community. He wanted to utilize his voice to give back to people who might be struggling. And he knew he was a major celebrity. He knew he had millions of fans all over the world. And just by odds, some of those fans are probably struggling with addiction, or they have friends and family members who are. And I think he really wanted to reach those people. He was in the works of starting a foundation that could funnel money from his great success in the entertainment industry to helping people in recovery. And that was something that he was so excited about, was to show the world that he was back and that he was ready to lend a helping hand. He said that one thing that he always wanted was to tell his story through film. Being an actor, he wanted to be in front of the camera again. And he expressed how he wanted to maybe make a biopic about him. He really wanted Zac Efron to be the lead. He said that he worked with him before and on 17 again, and that he really liked him, and that he figured, why not ask him again, right? He's the perfect guy. They've already played each other before. So that was just something that he said so briefly. I'm not sure if there was any movement on that, but you know, that was one of his wishes. And also he wanted to write a role in this biopic for himself, to make a cameo. He said potentially writing a character that was a counselor for drug addiction, and that he would play that role, so that he would almost be talking to his past self and saying, this is the advice that I would give you, knowing what I know now, to help you change the course of your life.
Did you guys plan on meeting again anytime soon, or?
No, we hadn't even gotten to that point. Like I said, I had only known him briefly. It's just a crazy coincidence that I happened to be the person that was one of the last people to see him alive and the last person to be seen out in public with him. I, like I said, feel very confused by all of it and wondering what's the greater purpose for all of this. So we didn't have plans to meet again, but what I will say is now this is an opportunity for me to really preserve his legacy. I want to come out and speak out about his mental state before he passed, to stop the speculation, to stop people from coming up with crazy theories about what he might have been doing or saying the day before, and again, direct more people to his addiction and recovery advocacy, which was the most important thing. I think after all of this is said and done, you know, I will respectfully bow out of this situation so that the people that were closer to him can really express their thoughts and feelings. I am really speaking about this now, like I said, just to dispel those immediate rumors that there was something wrong with him the day before. But after that, I think that will be the time for his contemporaries to really shine and hopefully bring some of those projects that he had to life. So that's what I hope to see from the people close to him, is helping him see that dream through.
If you had the chance to tell Matthew one more thing, what would it be?
I would tell him, I hope I'm making you proud. I'm sorry that I have to be the one to talk about these things, and I wish that this had never happened. But more than anything, I want to tell him that I'm proud of him, and that he was an extremely brave person who inspired so many people, even me, that I don't even think he realized. He was such a kind person who touched the hearts of everybody that he knew. He treated everybody like they were his best friend. It could be somebody that he just met that day. It could be somebody that he's known for a couple weeks or months. or it could be his lifelong friend. He treated everybody the same and treated everybody equally. And I think that is going to be one of the most positive things to come out of this, is just the comfort that his fans will feel knowing that the person that they saw on screen was the person that he was in his heart. And for that, I commend him, and I'm never going to forget some of the lessons that this has taught me and that he taught me.